Firstly, to all of our fans and all fans of Minnow Nation football, I have to apologise because Ryan is here rocking the Sierra Leone shirt. And I'm not wearing a Minnow shirt, I'm wearing a Cameroon shirt. I've tried. The tournament's at least in Cameroon. Come on. But I'm going to have to get me a Gambia shirt. But might I say, Ryan, you were looking stacked in that Sierra Leone shirt.
Dude, I have been on the protein. I've been smashing it. I absolutely haven't. So if anyone's tuning in thinking, Jesus, this guy's been seriously bulking over Christmas, I am looking absolute beefcake central in this Sierra Leone top. But what I will add is it's cold in my house. So I've actually got a t-shirt, fleece on underneath, and then I've just chucked this Sierra Leone top. The Sierra Leone top over it. But I have to say, these shoulders are looking massive. Mate.
I was going to say, mate, it's the neck and shoulder thing that's for me.
I think it's the collar. The collar helps me out, mate. And because underneath I've got this fleece that's tucked in.
Yeah.
It's just like all I've been doing is shrugs since Christmas.
Doing your best Stephen Corcoran impression. Right, what an incredible we'll touch on Stephen Corker as we go through. What an incredible competition AFCON has been so far. It's so important that this tournament goes ahead. I know it's been delayed, but it's already thrown up some incredible results. I mean, firstly, some of the teams. We're not going to touch on all the Minnow Nation teams. We're going to sort of touch on some of the ones that have been maybe outperforming what they thought. But I think it's important to say that Africa has a lot of teams that are quite poorly ranked in the FIFA World Rankings. And when you go to AFCON and you see the quality of the games, and for me, probably, I'm going to start with the quality of defending. It's been such a low-scoring competition, and previous AFCONs haven't been, but that's just because the players are better now, the defenders are better.
I think so.
And it's been brilliant, hasn't it? Ryan, have you enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, keepers as well. Keepers have been class in this tournament so far. Now, yeah, for anyone that's watching, we're here to just chat through everything kind of AFCON so far, aren't we? With a main core focus on those Minnow Nations that we know and love here on D&Q. But so far, mate, I mean, look, we spoke about this. We've spoken a lot about AFCON, haven't we? Because we've been keeping very, very close eye on those results, especially of those Minnow Nations, the Gambia, Sierra Leone, and others that we're going to speak about briefly during this video, this AFCON catch-up video. Early on, I was a little bit worried about the lack of goals. We got a good few days into the tournament, and the first game, Cameroon won 2-1, and that was the highest scoring game for what felt like a little while, wasn't it? And I was a little bit like, it's all well and good having good defending and good keeping, but you kind of want to see some goals. So I was a little bit like, but in the most recent match days, that's kind of gone out the window. I think Tunisia beat Mauritania 4-0 earlier. Was that a couple of days ago? So I mean, the goals have started to flood in, and the games have just become brilliant, haven't they? The tournament so far has been, it's just had a few brilliant moments, but then also kind of internet-breaking moments.
Yes.
With the referee that couldn't keep track of time, and blew up on like the 85th minute and then the 89th, and then some keeper howlers that I'm sure we'll touch on, but. You touched on the rankings there, pal, and you're bang on, because I don't know, my knowledge of kind of the history of AFCON's not strong enough to really sort of do a strong enough comparison, but it's been such a mixed bag for the big boys. Like, you think Cameroon and Nigeria, they're already through, but you've got reigning champions, Algeria, Ghana, who are doing awful. Ghana are really struggling. So it's been a brilliant tournament so far, and I think there's more to come from this 2021-2022 AFCON. It's really delivering so far.
It is.
What about yourself? What do you think?
Oh, mate, I've loved it. I've absolutely loved it. And the reason really is because we support Minnow Nation teams. We follow the sides that are the unfancied. We've already done videos on Gambia and Sierra Leone, but we'll touch on those sides again. And just some of the results, when you watch football as a fan of the unfancied side, it's so much more entertaining. It really is so much more entertaining. It's been brilliant. It's been absolutely brilliant. Like you say, the referee has actually disappointed me because I think, whilst it's entertaining for a lot of people, I think the downside is it sort of makes a mockery of AFCON a little bit, because they just say, it's all, and there's match fixing, all this, that and the other. I just think the quality of the refereeing has just been poor. I just think it's been very
there's
poor.
been some performances that haven't. The thing is as well, when you have a moment like that, everyone just tars it all with the same brush. The refs out there. There's actually been some very good refereeing performances, and there's actually been some good use of the application of VAR in the tournament so far. So I know exactly what you mean. It doesn't tarnish the reputation of the tournament. No, it doesn't at all. But it just kind of paints that side of it in a little bit of a negative light, doesn't it?
It does.
Although it was borderline hilarious.
Oh, it was horrific. It was absolutely horrific. We don't want to dwell on it too much, but you can understand why it's internet breaking. But people don't watch the games and then just see on Sky Sports Twitter that and they don't get the full perception of it. And the first thing that we're going to touch on because we did our first video on them, and they're the lowest ranked side in the competition, is Gambia. I mean, I watched Gambia versus Mauritania. I know you're going to touch on Mauritania as well. What a game of football that was. That was so entertaining. Mauritania will be walking away a little bit disappointed with the result. This is the defensive masterclass I'm referring to. I thought that Collie in particular, but I mean, the desire for both teams to just score goals. The game finished 1-0 to Gambia, a brilliant result. It's their first ever AFCON game, and they won it with a stunning goal early on.
Ridiculous goal.
Probably the best goal I've seen actually in the tournament so far. I mean, the whole move actually, from the throw in, then the nutmeg and the pass, the touch and the finish, all outstanding. But then Mauritania's response was absolutely fantastic. And it was a really, really entertaining game. And of course, the Scorpions got over the line with the 1-0 win. And then I thought, okay, cool. I looked at it and I thought, that's great. We love it. All the Gambia fans who have got in touch with us on D&Q has been fantastic. We love it. Then they've got Mali and Tunisia. And I thought, I hope that this isn't then that reality check and that phase back. And Mali, of course, beat Tunisia in the first game. They're no side to be messed with. They've got Gineppo and Marega and players like that. Yes, of course, yeah. And 1-1 with a last-minute penalty of just stunning, cool, calm, collected. They've got 4 points now, and realistically, with 4 of the 6 third-place teams getting through in this competition, Gambia are now probably through. No,
they are, mate. They're guaranteed. They're guaranteed.
Is it official? Is it official?
100%. Yeah, guaranteed top 3 finish. Yeah, I was looking on Wikipedia earlier, and they had the X symbol next to the Gambia, which indicates that they're guaranteed the top 3 finish. So I'm going off Wikipedia there, so don't shoot the messenger. But the 4 points gives them that top 3 spot, which is a ticket through to the next round.
Ticket through to the next round. And fun fact now, 2 games in, Gambia, they are the only side in AFCON history to have never lost a game. I know they've only played 2. But they are technically there. And listen, I think that they might lose to Tunisia. But what a story for Gambia. I mean, we did our video on it. We did our spotlight on Gambia. What a story for them so far. And I tell you what, no side will want to face them in the knockouts, because they've got the whole nation behind them. And they are the lowest ranked team. They're the ultimate minnow for this competition. What have you made? They can't lose. What have you made of Gambia so far?
They can't lose, mate. And they've taken that attitude into the tournament. They couldn't have got to a better start. You and I don't know if it was on the Spotlight video or it was something that maybe we spoke about off camera prior to the tournament. But the first game was make or break, really, for both those sides, wasn't it? That Mauritania game. Both sides would have pinpointed that first fixture. We need to get a good result here. What you can't do is you can't lose that game.
No.
And Gambia won it. You've seen how Mauritania have then reacted from them. Yes, they had Tunisia after, but kind of both teams are in the same boat. Is their next 2 games after that were Mali and Tunisia in whatever way the fixtures came. They got that win. They ground out. They found a way to win. The goal was a joke from Jallo, stunning strike, and then they would have already had an insane spirit in that squad anyway. Their first time the nations qualified for AFCON, so you've already got that spirit there. All that first win does is just harnesses that spirit. And then you go into the second game, and look, they should not be getting a point against Mali, and they fully deserved it. They fully deserved it. They hit the post twice from 2 stunning free kicks. That I think one was post, one was bar.
Yeah.
Keeper Jobe made some insane saves, and then you've mentioned the late penalty that got the point. The composure.
What a finish
all
it was.
All the pressure on, and a solid finish. But it's been a collective effort. You've mentioned a few there. They've got, and I know you mentioned Toure in the spotlight. Yes. Collie, Bob, and Barrow. It's a real team effort, mate. They've done incredibly well.
They've done incredibly well, and we're very pleased to say here on D&Q, firstly, we love all the support from all the Gambians. We absolutely love the Scorpions. And we're 99.9% sure that actually we'll be able to get Mo Barrow will be coming on the show after AFCON. Originally, we're there. We're pretty much there. We're really, really hopeful to come and speak to him. We thought we might be speaking to him next week. It's not going to be the case. It's going to be well into February because of this incredible run. So do stick around, Gambia fans. We absolutely love you, and I hope that you have enjoyed our sort of coverage of AFCON so far. What about Mauritania then? Of course, same group, and lost that all-important game to Gambia, and then they've sadly, I mean, they couldn't lose either, to be fair, realistically. But what have you made of them so far?
They couldn't lose. You know, both sides would have, in the draw, they'd have looked at it and gone, okay, well, we've got Gambia, we've got Mauritania, so there's the opportunity there. And then they looked at Mali and Tunisia and gone, it's a tough draw. After losing that first game, they then got hammered 4-0 by Tunisia, and it's game, set, and match, really, for their AFCON participation. But they'll come again. Look, they're ranked 103rd, so they're not by any means the lowest ranked team, but they're certainly not up with the big boys in this tournament. There were no expectations for them. And it's just, basically, mate, it's just not gone to plan for them. So they've got their last game against Mali in the group. I'm sure they'll go in that and try and give a good account of themselves with sort of sights set on future tournaments and future matches to come, basically.
Absolutely, and I think my only final point on Mauritania is how fantastic it is to see Abubakar Kamara leading the line for them, a player that's played in the Premier League for Fulham, and it's fantastic to see. It's fantastic to see players making the step up for their African sides and playing, because lots of players haven't been able to make the trip, and this tournament can sometimes get a bad rap. It is one of the biggest tournaments on the planet, and it's fantastic to see him for Mauritania leading the line.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I love when players have the ability to go and play for their nation, and they just grasp it and have a passion and belief and just general exuberance and excitement to go and play for their nation. And this is one of the biggest international stages, and the reputation and kind of the rap that it gets is just bordering disrespectful, isn't it? So, look, I was going to say, fair. It's been great. We love seeing kind of almost like those random Premier League players and random sort of high Football League players playing for what we would deem to be those smaller nations. So Abubakar Kamara is a perfect example of that, isn't it? You suddenly see him and go, what's he doing playing for them? Look, Mauritania will be back, mate. There'll be a solid outfit for a few more years to come. It's just, as I said, it's just not quite worked out for them this tournament.
No, and speaking of random players playing for African countries, we have to now move on to Stephen Corker and Sierra Leone, the Leone Stars. I mean, I will say, as well as Gambia have done with their win over Mauritania and their draw against Mali, Sierra Leone had probably the worst draw. Well, not the worst draw, but there was certainly the worst first two games out of any side in the tournament, playing against 2019 winners and tournament favourites Algeria, and then playing against a solid African outfit in the Ivory Coast. First game 0-0. Second game 2-2 in the most dramatic of fashions. What have you made of Sierra Leone so far?
Just defying all odds, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's mental. It's absolutely mental to get the 0-0 against Algeria. Keeper got man of the match. Keeper Kamara got man of the match with a stupidly good performance. Like, just lives everywhere. Just out there, just saying stuff. He's out heading things. He's out slide tackling players. Mental passion and just a bundle of fun to watch them so far this tournament. The 0-0 draw against Algeria, who'd have given them a hope in hell to get that result, and then they've backed that up with, again, just, we touched on it, I kind of alluded to some kind of key kind of internet breaking moments from this tournament so far, and the second of which is the second Sierra Leone equaliser against Ivory Coast. How much of that game have you seen? Did you see? So Ivory Coast went 1-up. Before that, they had a penalty that Sierra Leone keeper ridiculously good save. He saved it, and they were looking at VAR to see if he'd hopped off his line, but he'd got it absolutely bang on to just hop off as the player kicked it, stunning save down to his
ridiculous.
leg. So good. The first equaliser from Musa is a joke of a finish as well. Chops past, I think it's Bailly, and wraps it near post, top bins. Unreal. The second equaliser, the head back, and I'm sure everyone's probably seen this. It goes back to the keeper who kind of on the stretch, as he lands, he gets caught up in that dusty, sandy pitch, and the leg just goes, and then the ball squirms. Who's there to pounce on it? Your favourite player, your new favourite player, Stephen Corker, cuts it back for Al-Haji Kamara, who then even himself falls over, and then he has to scoop it over. And then, can we just talk about the scenes after?
Oh, yeah. The Bafétimbi Gomez celebration.
So good, so passionate, and you know what? To me, their performances, their results, what they've brought to the tournament is what AFCON is all about for me. I've loved it. I've absolutely loved it.
I think you'd be hard for, and you know, who knows what this competition will throw up. I think that the equaliser against the Ivory Coast from Sierra Leone will probably be the best moment of this tournament, and it will be hard to beat that as a game in this tournament. You know, if you just think about it for a moment, you know, you've got Arsenal's Pepe rolling it in 2-1 to Ivory Coast. And then
£70 million Pepe.
I was going to £70 million Pepe, and there's so many stars on that pitch for Ivory Coast. I like, you know, they're not a minnow. I like Ivory Coast, a footballing nation, and some of the players they've had in the past is stunning. But I mean, the fact that they're throwing everything up there, they just lump a ball long. The defender, it's not even a bad header back to the keeper, who, worst case scenario, just let it go for a corner. But the Stephen Corker's up there gambling on it, plays it to Al-Haji Kamara, and like you say, it's the fact that he falls over himself and just... But almost, if he doesn't fall over, he probably kicks it against the defender because he ends up scooping it in.
Scooping it over the goal on the line. Can we talk about the angle? You must have seen it on Twitter where it is... The goal happens and then it's the sort of, they're doing slow motion replays because at this point the goalkeeper is the Ivory Coast goalkeeper sort of rolling on the floor, isn't it? It almost kind of pans and then all you see is the Ivory Coast goalkeeper like this, almost sort of borderline crying, going as he's watching the ball cut back, the guy fall over and scoop it in. Mate, I have to say, look, we love football, don't we? And we kind of wouldn't want to wish bad luck like that on anyone, but God, that moment was amazing for Sierra Leone. And look, they have got a chance to get through, but it's still a big ask. They've got the final game. This segues lovely, beautifully into kind of talking about the next nation that we want to cover. Actually, their final game is against Equatorial Guinea, who have also been a real asset to this tournament so far.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, Gambia and Mauritania are in the same group, so are Equatorial Guinea and Sierra Leone. But unlike the aforementioned sides, they didn't play each other on match day 1, so they both knew that they could both be going into this game on 0 points, and it could be a shootout for the 3rd place spot. Now, that's not the case. Of course, as we've covered, Sierra Leone, 2 points, 2 fantastic draws. Equatorial Guinea, not a bad result against Ivory Coast, losing 1-0 in their first game. And then, shock of the tournament, they went one better than Sierra Leone and actually beat Algeria 1-0. Algeria yet to score in the tournament, quite incredibly, in what Algeria would have deemed an easy group for them to at least get out of. Algeria, of course, just 1 point, bottom of the group at the moment. But what a result that is for Equatorial Guinea, a side that we've seen just go up and up and up across recent years. And of course, they play each other in match day 3. What have you made of Equatorial Guinea so far?
Well, they've been absolutely brilliant, pal. They've gone about their business in an admirable way. To start with Ivory Coast, you know, it's the same bit roles reverse, isn't it? That we've just spoken about with Sierra Leone. To start with those 2 fixtures is a daunting beginning to your AFCON campaign. They were so solid in that 1-0 opening day defeat to Ivory Coast. I don't know if you've seen the goal. Gradle batters one in, and that goal to beat them was an absolutely cracking finish. Then the second game, the victory against Algeria. I get that. Just Algeria have got Riyad Mahrez is the main man, so it's kind of a little bit gimme just to speak about him. But Premier League champion and wing wizard Mahrez, and a very, very good side across the rest of their team to go and face them up, hold out strongly, and to go and get the win. They've been excellent. I am absolutely loving. They've got a guy in midfield who's got a pink barnet, a guy called Iban Edu, cracking left foot. He's been hilariously brilliant in the tournament so far. Esteban Ona is also having a good tournament. He scored the goal from a corner, a really scruffy goal against Algeria, but you'll take it.
Yeah.
And he has defended like his life depended on it in the tournament so far. They've been great, pal. They've not quite been as like hilariously bonkers as Sierra Leone, but they've kind of gone about things far more of a steady anyway. But have still been kind of a breath of fresh air to the tournament. And look, when you're coming into a tournament like this and you're having a headline performance and a headline result against Algeria like they have done, you can't help but just applaud and appreciate what they're delivering so far. Loving it, mate. Absolutely loving it.
I think I think that this group is such an advert for AFCON though, because you wouldn't get this anywhere else in the world. I know that seems like a bit of an exaggeration, but you just don't. European football's so one-dimensional. You'd never get a side like Algeria, tournament favourites. It's literally like in the Euros equivalent. It's like Italy. Well, unfortunately, these sides don't even qualify. But it's like Italy playing, I don't even know, like a Liechtenstein or someone like that.
So let's use Equatorial Guinea as the example, right? What kind of ranking are Equatorial Guinea in the FIFA rankings?
Equatorial Guinea find themselves at, bear with me a moment, I did know this. Equatorial Guinea are currently 114th in the FIFA World Rankings.
Right. Have you got the FIFA World Rankings there in front of you? And if so, who's a comparable European team that is in and around that 114 mark?
Like for a prime example would be, only a few places below 155. Andorra 136, Lithuania. You don't get these kind of results. Algeria are 29th in the world. Yeah. Algeria are 29th in the world and tournament favourites. It is literally like Lithuania beating Belgium in a major tournament, and that's why we love AFCON. That's what it's perfect for, and I want this to come across in the right way. I really want Sierra Leone to beat Equatorial Guinea, and the reason why is because they could both get through. I want Ivory Coast to beat Algeria. If Sierra Leone beat Equatorial Guinea, they could both get through. I think a draw would get them both through as well if they get it right. But what an incredible group this would be. Ivory Coast can win it if they want. They can win it if they want. But if Algeria went out in a group with Sierra Leone and Equatorial Guinea, that would make this AFCON already historic. If it isn't already. I mean, these sides have been absolutely incredible. And there's one other Minnow Nation side I just want to touch on very quickly, and that is Malawi, who have a chance to get out of their group. They're in a group with Zimbabwe, Guinea, and Senegal. So again, tournament favourites Senegal. If it wasn't going to be Algeria, it's probably going to be Senegal. Senegal got very lucky against Zimbabwe in match day 1. Dubious, although I think it was the right decision, penalty to give them a last-minute winner. And then, of course, the draw against Guinea. Malawi lost to Guinea in the first game, but then they had their shootout effectively against Zimbabwe. But to win that 2-1, absolutely fantastic result. And if other third-place teams don't finish above them points-wise, like we said, 4 of the 6 go through. Malawi could find themselves in the knockout stages as well, which has been they've been absolutely fantastic. This whole tournament's been amazing. The Minnow Nations have been amazing. Who do you think, if you had to pick one of all the sides we've mentioned, I know it's a big question, who do you think would go the furthest in this tournament?
God, you've thrown that to me at the end of this video. Gambia.
Yeah. For me, it's between Gambia and Sierra Leone. I think so. I think Equatorial Guinea have been a little bit more efficient, but I just think some of the attacking players that we've seen for Gambia and Sierra Leone, Moussa Barrow's been fantastic for Gambia. just to pick, just to pick one of many players out, and I think that Sierra Leone they've got some top players as well. But what we want is for all these teams to get through. We want them to go as far as possible. If you are from one of these nations, we know we've got a lot of Gambian fans on the channel, a few Sierra Leone fans as well. Drop a comment. Drop a comment on this video. Who do you think? Well, firstly, do you think your side's going to get out of the group? How much are you loving this AFCON journey? And which side out of the ones we've mentioned do you think is going to go the furthest? If you haven't already, I'm going to flash up 2 videos for you. Right about now, you've got the Gambia video here, the Sierra Leone video here. That is it for us. Drop a like, drop a comment, and we will see you next time.